There's a moment where greatness doesn't just slip, it collapses. Not gradually, not logically, but instantly. The body is ready. The skill is perfect. The training is flawless. And yet, everything falls apart. What you're about to see is not failure. It's something far more disturbing, a hidden biological response that turns the world's greatest athletes into strangers inside their own bodies. This is the psychology of what happens. When the eyes of millions, sometimes billions, become too heavy for the human brain to carry. Roberto Baggio walks forward. World Cup Final, 1994. One kick separates glory from permanent heartbreak. He places the ball, steps back, breath steady, face calm. He's done this thousands of times. He runs forward, strikes, and sends it into the sky. This wasn't a mistake. This was explicit monitoring theory in action. At the highest level, elite performance is automatic, driven by procedural memory. But under extreme pressure, the brain interferes. The prefrontal cortex steps in, forcing conscious control over something that must stay unconscious. He didn't lose skill. He lost trust in the system that built his skill. And in that moment, thinking destroyed mastery. Lionel Messi, Copa America Final, 2016. A penalty, a routine moment, for an extraordinary player. He steps up, strikes, misses. Then something even more shocking happens. He walks away from international football. This is what neuroscience calls an amygdala hijack. The amygdala, your brain's threat detector, doesn't understand reputation, legacy, or trophies. It understands one thing: danger. And when millions are watching, the brain interprets it as exactly that. The result? Muscles tighten, vision narrows, perceptual narrowing, timing collapses. The body shifts from performance mode to survival mode. Messi wasn't just taking a penalty, he was carrying a nation, and his nervous system refused the weight. David Beckham, World Cup, 1998. A single moment of frustration. A red card. England is eliminated. And overnight, he transforms. From hero to public enemy. This is collective projection theory. A nation projects its identity onto one man, and when he breaks, they don't just see failure, they feel betrayal. The pressure mutates from a desire to win into a desperate need to avoid shame. This activates avoidance motivation. And avoidance kills instinct, kills creativity, kills flow. The athlete hesitates, and at the highest level, hesitation is defeat. Gonzalo Higuaín, World Cup Final, 2014. A perfect chance, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He shoots, wide. Then again, another final, another miss, and something dangerous begins to form. A loop. This is anticipatory anxiety loop. The brain records failure, not just as memory, but as emotional expectation. So the next time the moment appears, the body reacts before it even happens. Heart rate spikes, coordination drops, focus fractures. He's not playing the present. He's fighting the past, and the past keeps winning. Cristiano Ronaldo, Euro 2004. Final, young, emotional, carrying expectation far beyond his years. Portugal loses. He collapses into tears. But this story doesn't end in collapse. It evolves. Because what separates those who break from those who rise again is not strength. It's interpretation. Ronaldo didn't eliminate pressure. He redefined it. This is cognitive reappraisal, the ability to reinterpret stress, not as threat, but as challenge. And that changes everything, because the brain follows perception. Threat creates anxiety. Challenge creates focus. Control returns. Precision returns. Identity stabilizes. And suddenly, the same pressure that destroys others becomes fuel. Every collapse you've seen follows the same hidden pattern. Hypervisibility triggers threat perception. The amygdala activates. The prefrontal cortex overloads. The body shifts into survival. And performance collapses. This is not weakness. This is biology under extreme conditions. The final truth is uncomfortable. The same sensitivity that allows these players to feel the game, read the moment, and perform with genius is the same sensitivity that makes them vulnerable when the pressure becomes overwhelming. Greatness is not built on emotional numbness. It is built on heightened awareness. And under the wrong conditions, that awareness turns inward, against them. So the next time you see a missed penalty, a defensive error, a moment that should have been easy, understand what you are really watching. Not failure, but a battle. Between skill and survival, between mastery and instinct, between who they are and what the world demands them to be. And sometimes, survival wins. In the end, none of this is random. The body does not forget skill, but under extreme pressure, it can forget how to trust it. And in that narrow space between expectation and execution, something silent takes over. Biology overrides intention. What looks like a simple mistake is often the result of an invisible internal battle, awareness turning into interference, and presence turning into pressure. So when the moment collapses, it is not always because ability disappeared. Sometimes it is because the human system that carries that ability briefly shifted from performance to survival. And in that shift, even greatness becomes fragile. In the end, none of this is random. The body does not forget skill, but under extreme pressure, it can forget how to trust it. And in that narrow space between expectation and execution, something silent takes over. Biology overrides intention. What looks like a simple mistake is often the result of an invisible internal battle, awareness turning into interference, and presence turning into pressure. So when the moment collapses, it is not always because ability disappeared. Sometimes it is because the human system that carries that ability briefly shifted from performance to survival. And in that shift, even greatness becomes fragile. You're about to see something that will change how you understand crowds forever. Because what looks like 80,000 separate people is actually one synchronized mind reacting through pressure, emotion, and identity. The video you're about to watch is titled, Why 80,000 Fans Feel Like One Mind, The Hidden Psychology of World Cup Crowds. Watch closely, because what you call a crowd, your brain calls something very different.